Yo, 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 yo. Testing. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear myself. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Can you hear me? Jaden was in here. Harry, what up? The Pebble. Jaden. Dominic Madden, the generational Browns hater. Are you a generational Browns hater? Are you? Um, AAA Cheryl, how are we doing today in the history of life? How are we doing today in the history of life? You can hear me? Good, because I can't hear myself, and it is very annoying, but that is okay. As long as you can hear me, that is a good thing. It is off-season time, ladies and gentlemen, and it is the most boring time for me because I hate off-season. I need football to start, but in the chat right now, how are excited for you for the Browns this offseason? Free agency is rolling. The one thing that I am happy about for the Browns, they are addressing everything that they needed to address this coming offseason, except one position they have not addressed, and it's kind of making me very, very sad. Talking about. Can you guess the position that I'm talking about? They have not addressed, and it's making me sad. And hopefully, they address it in the NFL draft. Happy Sunday, The Pebble. Sound good? By the way, I am IDK before they change the way people see YouTube names. Okay, what up, IDK? How have you been, my good sir? Can anybody guess the position I'm talking about? Let me see if I can change my headphones because I can't hear myself. 1 second. Let's try this. There we go. Yes, loud and clear. Receiver, AAA, you were right. Da-da-da-da, AAA.
Dog check!
AAA.
Dog check! Dog check!
You get the dog check of the day. AAA. They have not addressed the receiver position. And it's kind of worrying me as we talk about how is free agency going for Cleveland right now. I like the way free agency is going for Cleveland. They have addressed the line, which is the most important part of your football team. Because if you don't have a good line, your quarterback is over. They're toast. I don't care who your quarterback is. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Shedeur Sanders. They're not going to be good if they don't have a line. So they are doing a very good job in addressing the line. But the receiver position, they have not even touched. They haven't done anything when it comes to the receiver of note, unless they have done something in the past 24 hours that I don't know about. And it kind of worries me. I'm not jumping off the cliff because the draft hasn't happened yet. So we have to see what they do there. But it has not been addressed. So how is free agency going for Cleveland? I think it's going good. But that's the only thing that concerns me. And we go down the list for Cleveland free agents. What up, Harry? Welcome to the family. Appreciate you. Member extraordinaire.
Dog check!
You are greatly appreciated.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Thank you so much, my dear friend. But the free agents that they have signed or traded for have been lineman heavy. Titus Howard, they got from Houston. Zion Johnson, right tackle Titus Howard. Left guard Zion Johnson from the Chargers. Quincy Williams, I think he is going to be a stud. Linebacker from the Jets. Guard Tevin Jenkins, we re-signed. Elton Jenkins from Green Bay, lineman. Jack Stoll from the New Orleans Saints, he's a tight end. Listen, he is a blocking tight end. I don't think he is going to be much of a threat in the receiver. He kind of replaced David Njoku, but we have Harold Fannin, so I'm not worried about the tight end position. We re-signed Angelo Ross, Corey Borokaz, Trey Avery, and we got Kalia Davis from the 49ers. And Ronnie Hickman is a restricted free agent. So that is your rundown of free agency so far for the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, I think they're doing a good job in addressing the needs except one position, and that is the receiver position. I'm trying, Cody. I'm trying between work, life. I'm trying. Read somewhere that the Browns may take a shot at Rasheed Walker. Let's go after Bosa. What up, Cheryl? Thank you for welcoming Harry, member extraordinaire, back to the family. I feel the opposite. I think the longer they go without addressing the receiver position makes me think they'll draft Tate. They need more than Tate, though, AAA. And that's my worry. Tate is not going to be just the fixer, right? And even though they may draft Tate, which, you know what, AAA, I don't have faith in that. There's a lot of rumors, and we'll talk about it a little later, that they may go after Monroe Freeling, I believe, from Georgia at pick number 6, which I hope you're right, and they go after Tate. But even if they go after Tate, ladies and gentlemen, he's not going to solve all of our problems. As much as I love him, AAA, Cody, Harry, Robert. What up, Robert? How are you doing? I didn't say what up. As much as I love Carnell Tate, he's not going to be the fixer of the receiver room. I think we need more than just Carnell Tate, even though I love me some Carnell Tate. So that's what I would love them to at least get somebody else. I would have loved to go after Romeo Doubs from Green Bay, but that didn't happen. But that's just me, okay? That is just me. We will see. And maybe, just maybe, chat, maybe, just maybe, somebody will step up under Todd Monken that we already have, okay? Maybe an Isaiah Bond takes that next leap, okay? Maybe, just maybe, Cedric Tillman takes that next leap that is already on our roster. I don't know about Jerry Jeudy. I'm not going to be mean, but we'll let him be who he is for now. Jerry Jeudy, our favorite receiver in the history of sports. Need a vet wide receiver? It's going to depend on who's there at 6. Will Carnell Tate be at 6? You know, the draft is very unpredictable. You can have all of the mock drafts in the world, right? Everybody makes a mock draft. I have seen 2,686 mock drafts because everybody is a draft specialist, but nobody knows anything, right? The only thing that we do know is that Fernando Mendoza is going to the Raiders. That is clear cut, and it's going to happen. That is the only guarantee that we have. After that pick, nobody knows what's going to happen in the draft except Fernando Mendoza to the Las Vegas Raiders. If we draft a QB at 6, you quit. Speaking of QBs, let's talk about QBs for a second. Let's migrate to QBs for a second. I want to talk about the quarterback position. I have no confidence in Jerry Jeudy. Me either. I want to talk about the quarterback position. Okay? Let's talk about quarterbacks. Is it Shedeur Sanders' job to lose at this point in time when it goes into camp? Because I think there's a narrative that's going around, and I think, I'm not saying you guys are missing it, but I think a lot of people are missing what's going on when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Okay? And this is why I think what's going on. I think at this point, with the media and some Browns fans, I'm not going to say all because it's rude to say all Browns fans, but some Browns fans, I think this narrative now is in some of the media as let it be anybody but Shedeur Sanders at this point. Because if you remember, the rumors was going around. You had Malik Willis. The Browns are going hard at Malik Willis. Let's watch for that name. No Malik Willis. Then it was, Kyler Murray is free. The Browns will go after Kyler Murray. No Kyler Murray. Then what was it? Anthony Richardson. They may take a stab at Anthony Richardson. No Anthony Richardson. And then you heard stuff about Geno Smith. Are you kidding me? Maybe they go after Geno Smith. No Geno Smith. Tua Tagovailoa. Really? And now the latest rumor that I seen on Twitter from a page called NFL Rumors are the Browns, along with a couple other teams, could be looking into J.J. McCarthy. I mean, when is enough enough? When is enough enough? With the Browns just want to go get another quarterback. I keep saying this, and I will say this until I go to my grave. Hopefully it's no time soon. If Shedeur Sanders' name was Robert Mello Dingo, none of this discourse would be happening with the Cleveland Browns. And I am with Cody, and I don't think it's going to happen. If the Cleveland Browns use their number 6 draft pick on a quarterback, I quit. I give up. But I don't think it's going to happen. And to answer my own question, I am starting to believe with the moves that the Browns made, I think that it is Shedeur Sanders' jobs to lose. And here is why. Number one, they didn't go get a quarterback. Out of all those names that we named, they didn't go get a quarterback. Okay? That is a good sign for Shedeur Sanders and Shedeur Sanders fans, number one. We still got the draft, number one. Number two, if you look at his competition, right? If we break down the competition that Shedeur Sanders is going to have in camp, you got Dillon Gabriel, who we all believe he is better than Dillon Gabriel, and you have Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson hasn't been good at football since 2020. So if you have a Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders camp and a QB battle, Shedeur Sanders believes in himself. He is a confident young man, and you would have to believe that he believes he can beat out Deshaun Watson. So it's good news for Shedeur Sanders so far because they have not went after a quarterback so far in free agency. But that's just me. What do you think? Holy crap! Where's the donation goal? Things are messing up for me, Harry. My Streamlabs wasn't working when I was trying to get it together. I probably got to shut down my computer. But Tweak Pat, the donation goal would have been $50, but holy crap! Hey, everybody, off-season shenanigans. He would have blew the donation goals off of the wall.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dog check! Dog check! Dog check!
Appreciate you, Tweak Pat. Holy moly. Thank you so much, my brother. Hopefully everything is going good with you. Hopefully all your chickens and your everything on the farm is great. The family is great. Thank you so much for the $200 grenade in the chat. None of my sound effects are working either. I got to get this stuff fixed. Streamlabs is hating me right now. Appreciate you, man. Wow. I'm with you, Cody, too. I'm with you, Cody. Listen. I can't wait till we don't have to talk about Deshaun Watson either. And it's not that I don't like Deshaun Watson. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that it's been a failed experience and it's over. It's over. And I keep saying this too. I don't care what he does on the field at this point. There is nothing to me unless a miracle happens and he wakes up and he is 2020 Deshaun Watson, which is not going to happen, and he leads the Browns to a Super Bowl. That is the only thing that would make me shut up, but it's not going to happen. I think him playing football just stunts the growth of Shedeur Sanders, and it's a waste of time. So like I said, I'm tired of talking about him too. But I think it is Shedeur Sanders' job to lose at this point in time, in my humble opinion. And I think it's a good sign for him so far going, because none of those quarterbacks that everybody talked about that was the Cleveland's going to go after, who they're looking at, oh my goodness, it hasn't happened. And it hasn't been close to happening. And I think it is a anybody but Shedeur type of look from the media and some of Browns fans, instead of the Browns actually were even thinking about going at a Malik Willis, at a Kyler Murray, a Geno Smith, Anthony Richardson. I kind of don't even think it was in the cards, seriously in the cards. Yeah, they'll take calls. Yeah, they may look at their profile on Wikipedia, but they weren't seriously going to get none of those guys, because they have guys already that they're going to see if they're the future or not. Miss y'all. Laugh out loud. Working on getting my Discord Patreon back. Been on a bit of a hiatus. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I do want to say, if you haven't already, subscribe to my gaming on Twitch. Harry has been over there rocking out with me. If you haven't, I'd be greatly appreciated. Go ahead and sub over there. Sub the Patreon. I'm all over the place. At least I'm trying to be when I can. Robert Leith, my guy. Robert knows how to get under my skin. Robert knows what he's doing. And we're going to talk about that now. Robert knows what he is doing. And he messaged me on Facebook. He wants to get me riled up. Will the Browns draft a quarterback? Robert says, I can see them taking Drew Allar if they can take him fourth or fifth round. Next year, Watson will be gone, and I look for them to drop Gabriel next year, so we'll need a backup. Robert knows what he's doing. You guys know my history with Drew Allar. Do you guys think the Browns will draft a quarterback? Now, to Robert's credit, I have seen online, and the rumblings are starting to churn up on the Drew Allar train. It's back, ladies and gentlemen. Robert is speaking facts here. I've seen the rumors. This Drew Allar train is starting to choo-choo a little bit in Cleveland land, that the Browns could take a late flyer on Drew Allar. I'm not going to lie. I'm telling you right now. You guys know my feelings on Drew Allar. I never thought he was very good. I understand his hometown is Cleveland, and I get it's a great story. I don't care. It's a waste of a pick like Dylan Gabriel. I just don't like it at all. But do you think the Browns will draft a quarterback? The rumors for Drew Allar are starting to soar. Todd Monken does like Ty Simpson out of Alabama. Ty Simpson says he would love to play for Todd Monken. Verbally, he has said it. It's came out of his mouth, so it means it's true. His name put the bad taste in your mouth. You're talking about Deshaun. His dad talking last year hurt his draft position. Nobody wanted the interference from him. I believe that's why they haven't went receiver 1 yet. They want to draft a young, dynamic receiver to match with Shedeur. It's Shedeur 12. That could be it too. But you would also think, if that is the case, you would want a veteran receiver that would help your young quarterback as well. So you would think that to help your young quarterback, you would want a nice level-headed veteran receiver that could help out your young quarterback when needed. Now, you know how I said level-headed young vet receiver? We do have a veteran receiver on our roster. His name is Jerry Jeudy, but he's not level-headed. I said a level-headed vet receiver that could help out a Shedeur Sanders when needed. But I do understand wanting a nice young explosive receiver to pair with your quarterback. That makes a lot of sense. But Haslam wants Manning, and him being from Northeast Ohio is the only reason they would take Allar. Listen, if you take a quarterback from where he's from, you need fired. You need fired. You just do. I'm going to draft you because you're from Ohio. Whoopity do. Browns will always draft 2 quarterbacks. How you doing, Jeff? You know what, Jeff? You and your Steelers, okay? You and your Steelers. All right? Worry about your Steelers, Jeff, and who you draft. Okay? How you doing, Jeff? And they're always, what do you mean they'll always draft 2 quarterbacks? This is the first time they've drafted 2 quarterbacks in the draft in a very long time. When's the last time the Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft? Anybody know? Because I don't. I don't want Aller either flash in the pan like Gabriel. Now, I will say this. I think Drew Aller is better than Dillon Gabriel. I will say that. I will be fair to the young man. I think he's better than Dillon Gabriel. I just don't think he's that good to waste a draft pick on when you have a Shedeur Sanders on your team and you're paying a quarterback $230 million. That's just me. Yes, last year we did. I meant before that. Was there any time before that we drafted 2 quarterbacks? Since Jeff came in and said that's all we do is draft 2 quarterbacks. How you doing, Jeff, by the way? Appreciate you coming through. Speaking of free agency, which free agent the Browns have gotten so far excites you the most? If you had to pick one free agent that the Browns have gotten excites you the most, tickles your fancy, tickles your tootsie toes. I didn't know. It's a lot of tickling I'm talking about. Which free agent does that for you? The Browns sign and you go, that guy right there, that's the one. That they haven't signed a lot of flashy guys that you look at the film and you go, oh my goodness. But in the needs category maybe, or the wants category, or the, hey, good signing category excites you the most. I can tell you mine right now. Mine is Quincy Williams from the Jets. We lost Devin Bush, and we went, good Lord, help me. That hurt. He rejuvenated his career when he came to Cleveland. When we got Devin Bush, some people were saying, why did we get him? Did you see him on Pittsburgh? He was absolutely terrible. And now we get him. What are we thinking? And then under Jim Schwartz, he turned into a monster. Like, this guy is really good. We need to keep him. And then he's gone. He left. And then as soon as he left, here comes Quincy Williams from the Jets. I was watching some highlights of Quincy Williams. I said, my goodness, is he aggressive? My goodness, is he fast? And he was cheaper than Devin Bush. Quincy Williams is the guy for me that I am excited to see with Carson Scheswinger. You know, the defensive rookie of the year. You know, the guy out of UCLA that when they picked him, I was upset because I am absolutely terrible. Yeah, the guy that has a headset on right here and then a headset on his ears. He has 2 headsets on for a reason that we don't know. That guy, Carson and Quincy, that excites me. I want to see what they can do together on the field. So if I had to pick one, it would be Quincy Williams to pair with Carson Scheswinger. Now, all of the linemen, of course, are very good picks that I am glad that the Browns did to protect your quarterback. Now, I've seen some people, whining at grades on PFF. Oh, my goodness, he's not good. Why'd they draft him? Why'd they pick him? Some fans will just never be happy. Some fans will never be happy. It doesn't matter. I am just excited that they're actually addressing needs, and we'll see how they play with Cleveland. That's how let's see how they play first before we automatically complain. I see people complaining about the Charger pickup. He was terrible. He sucks. We don't know until they play in Cleveland. We said the same thing about Devin Bush in Pittsburgh, and look what happened to him. Turned into a stud. So let's wait and let these players play first before we already start complaining. But mine is Quincy Williams. That's the guy I am most excited to see that the Browns got in free agency. Quincy Williams, last year. Yeah, I know about last year they drafted 2 quarterbacks, but I meant before that, have they ever done that besides last year. They released Conklin finally. You know, I feel bad for Jack Conklin. I do. Because if he was ever healthy, I think he's good, but he just cannot stay on the field, chat. He can't stay on the field. Yeah, that's going to be a good middle. What's up with Miles ghosting his team? I just want OL receiver and a kicker. We got a good kicker. What do you mean a kicker? Andre Schmidt. What are you talking about? We got a good kicker. He is solidified. What do you mean Miles? What's going on with Myles Garrett? What are you talking about? Miles ghosting the team? Somebody should pick up Taylor, Robert. I would think so. He's still got a lot of, I think, good years left in him. I don't see why they wouldn't. What am I missing with Myles Garrett? Hold on, Cody. What am I missing with Myles Garrett? What's going on with Myles? Besides getting a speeding ticket, which I don't even, listen, at this point, I don't even think as long as he doesn't hurt anybody, listen, it's just what Myles does at this point. If you keep getting multiple, you haven't learned, okay? You're going to do what you do. That's it. And that's all. He hasn't met the head coach yet. Oh, I don't think I'd put too much into it. I wouldn't put too much into it. I think he's fine. I think he's just doing what he wants to do. Now, if he doesn't come to mini camp or training camp, then I would be worried. But I'm not worried about it. Not at all. Not at all. Something out there about Myles not talking to anyone. I'm not worried about it. And listen, I'll tell you this with Myles Garrett. I'll tell you this with Myles Garrett. He's under contract, right? Can't trade him. They're saying the contract's untradeable. He has a no trade clause. I'm not worried about Myles right now. It's March 15th, 2026. We know he loved Jim Schwartz, right? Him and Jim Schwartz had a bond. Maybe he's a little emotional because Jim Schwartz is not here. I'm trying to psychoanalyze Myles Garrett. I don't know. But we're not even close to camp. We're not close to when players have to report. There's nothing in his contract that says he has to talk to the coach in March. But I am not worried. As long as Myles Garrett shows up and plays on the field when it's time to play, that's really all I care about right now when it comes to Myles Garrett. And he has shown me his resume speaks for itself. 23 sacks later, the greatest defensive end, arguably right now, to lace up sneakers. The greatest defensive player in Cleveland Browns history. If this man wants to eat fruit roll-ups and not talk to his coach in March, I don't care. As long as he shows up when he needs to show up, I'm good for it. That's all that matters to me right now. Now, if we're having this same conversation in August, if he doesn't report to camp, mandatory camp, then you may have something and we'll have to have a conversation. But right now, it is what it is. To me, he has stood up face to face yet. 13 tickets, get a driver. He has 13 tickets? Wow. Listen, I wouldn't even drive if I was rich. I'll tell you that right now, Jeff. But that's me. He's acting like LBJ of the NFL. What, the face of the league? The greatest of all time? That's a compliment. That's a compliment, Cody. The greatest of all time, the face of the league, the record breaker. That is a compliment, Cody. I wish somebody called me the LBJ of YouTube. Can't trade. He's got a note from his doctor for someone that wants a Super Bowl. He don't act like it. Just saying. Listen, I'll tell you this. Not everybody acts the same. Not everybody acts the same. Not everybody. Peyton Manning doesn't act the same as Josh Allen, but they're both great at what they do. Okay? Everybody's not the same when you're a great player. We all know Myles Garrett's going to do what Myles Garrett wants to do, but he shows up on the football field. That's really all that matters. Larry Fitzgerald and Randy Moss did not act the same, but they're both great wide receivers. Everybody wanted receivers to act like Larry Fitzgerald. It just didn't happen. But they're great. Everybody wants a Nick Chubb at running back. Just hand the ball to the ref. But everybody's not the same. As long as Myles shows up and plays tackle football, I don't care what else he does. I really don't care. Now, everybody doesn't feel like me, but that's just me. Hold on. Because we're not even talking about free agency right now. We're talking about Myles Garrett. Let me change that. Are you ready for us to trade down? What up, Jeff? Where you been? Jeff, where have you been? Jeff? Huh? You see how I attack people in my stream? I am so mean. Am I ready for us to trade down from 6? No. I am not ready for us to trade down from 6. Jeff, you have went into a great segue. You know what, Jeff? I like you, man. I like you. You have gave me an easy layup. Who do you think the Browns will pick at number 6? Jeff went right into the segue. Will they trade the pick number 6? How you doing, Jeff, by the way, first of all? As I attacked you, you know it's all love. Trading down from 6. I have seen that scenario too. I hate the trade down, and here's why. I hate the trade down scenario, which it really could happen, because I really think in my heart of hearts, you need to address your receiver issues, and you need to attack it at number 6. Trading down and getting a lesser receiver to get another pick does not solve the issue. It doesn't. They're there for a reason. And I don't think people understand that. The receiver is still there for a reason, because he's not as good as the one that is projected to go number 6. He's just not as good. Now, could he turn out to be better in the NFL? Sure he could. Sure he could, and we have seen it happen. But sometimes they don't. And they're there for a reason. And they're still there for a reason. So I hate the trade down scenario, but it could happen, because we have seen Cleveland trade down millions of times, and then our soul crawls into a hole. But who do you guys think the Browns will pick at number 6? Let me know. When LBJ was in office and someone tried to bully him, he would pull out his Johnson and show them who the top. He pulled out his Johnson? He pulled out his. Did he pull it out? Wow. Can you imagine being the best player in the world at your job? You're setting records and such, yet playing for the worst team in history. He's just out there hunting for something exciting. Zoom, zoom. Where the NFL is right now, what number 1 receiver isn't a diva? I think they all are. And you know what, too, when they call receivers divas, I hate that. I hate that titling. And here's why. Receivers have no control of when they get the football, right? The running back, the play's called for you, they hand it to you, you get the ball. Linemen, we know they're never getting the ball. But as a receiver, you have no control on when you're getting the ball. You could beat your man, you could be wide open. If the quarterback sucks and they don't get you the ball, you don't get it, right? If they miss the read, you don't get it. If I was a wide receiver and I know how good I am and I'm beating my man every single time, I'm going to want the football. Throw me the ball. And people call and say, oh, he's a diva. He just need. No, I hate that notion. If I am that dude, get me the freaking ball. If I know I'm that dude. And when a receiver starts to show emotions on the sideline, oh, they're a diva. Look at them. I hate it. If I'm a wide receiver and I know I am that freaking good, give me the ball. Now, if I'm trash, that's different. And vice versa. If I'm dropping the football, The quarterback has every right to get up in my grill if I am the one getting mad when I don't get the ball. But when they call receivers divas, I hate it because that's a position that is all dependent on your quarterback getting you the football, seeing when you're open. So I hate when they call wide receivers divas. I've always hated it because that position, you are at the mercy of your quarterback. I think we're going to trade down. The Giants are going to take. So you think the Giants take Tate at 5? Tate and Neighbors? I mean, maybe. That would be a pretty good combo for Jackson Dart. I tell you that. Depends on who's there at 6. I saw you draft best available at 6. Then if someone wants him bad enough, you can still make a trade. Washington really likes Jeremiah Love. If they're going to give me good draft capital for pick 6, I'm trading down. If we get a good vet receiver for number 6, I would be for it. Yes, multiple stories about him doing that. Really? Listen, man. Hey, goat it then. Jeremiah Love is he's an interesting scenario, right? I brought up that scenario last time we streamed about picking Jeremiah Love at 6 from Notre Dame. And I agree the Browns shouldn't do that. But then when you think about it a little bit more, right? Think about this for a second. Let's say Carnell Tate is taken at 5 in Jeffrey's scenario. Let's say Jeremiah Love is sitting right there. Do you take Jeremiah Love? I know it sounds asinine at the moment, but think about it. Just think for a second. You could have, because Quinshon Judkins may not be 100% by the time the beginning of the season starts, but think about it from a long-term perspective. I'm playing devil's advocate to taking him. I'm still saying I wouldn't do it, by the way. I wouldn't do it. I would probably take Freeling from Georgia, or I'd take a lineman, or I trade down. I wouldn't do it, but I'm playing devil's advocate. Think about the dynamic duo you would have at running back if this scenario presented itself. Jeremiah Love and Quinshon Judkins in the backfield, along with your retooled line. If you talk about helping out your quarterback and you want to protect your quarterback and you want your quarterback to be the best that they can be, and right now that is Shedeur Sanders. Could you imagine a Jeremiah Love and a Quinshon Judkins? Now, I know they still have Dylan Sampson, but Dylan Sampson doesn't hold a candle to Jeremiah Love. You can still use Sampson as, a receiving option, gadget plays. Baltimore had 3 running back situations, so Todd Monken knows how to use 3 running backs. He did it in Baltimore. It's not going to happen. I'm just playing devil's advocate here for picking Jeremiah Love at number 6. I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't think they should. But that backfield, that 1-2 punch that you could have for years to come, and it would help Quinshon Judkins stay healthy. The reason why he got hurt last year is because of the load he was playing, and his line was absolutely atrocious. This man never got yards before contact. All his yards were after contact. You could spell him from all of the wear and tear that he is getting on his body at such a young age. Just throwing it out there, just a devil's advocate type of deal. Just thinking about what could be if you just thought about maybe if he's there at number 6. Carnell Tate is gone in the scenario that he goes number 5 to the Giants. There are 2 very good receivers in the top 10. Hopefully we can get one of them. I mean, the Giants let Robinson walk tells me at 5 they're taking a receiver. Actually 3, but 1 has injury issues. We still have Sampson. I think I think Freely will be there later in the draft. That's why I'm okay with trading down. Nick Chubb is going to be a free agent, right? We could always get him back. Tyson has injury issues. There is Smith and Lemon if we can't get Tate. I like the 1-2 punch at running back. Be nice if we still had Chubb. Chubb is going to be a free agent, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Chubb is going to be a free agent. I talked about it last stream. Houston is going to be done with Nick Chubb. Getting David Montgomery from the Lions to pair with their young stud they had this season, the rookie. I forget his name. But Nick Chubb is out in Houston. Free agency is alive for Nick Chubb. I would love to get Nick Chubb back. You see my jersey, right? You know how biased I am to Nick Chubb. You know I love Nick Chubb. He averaged 4 yards a carry last year when he was given the opportunity to run the football. 4 yards a carry is still good in the NFL today. And he will be running against backups because he will be the backup running back to starting Quinshon Judkins. So I would be all for it. You would get him on the cheap. You wouldn't have to pay a lot of money to get Nick Chubb back. And he just belongs in a Browns uniform. Look at Keenan Allen, right? Keenan Allen for the Chargers. If you didn't watch football like that, you would have never knew he played for the Bears. You would have never knew Keenan Allen played for the Chicago Bears. He played 1 year, went back to the Chargers. Some players are meant to be on teams. Nick Chubb is meant to be a Cleveland Brown. Do I think it's going to happen? No, not at all. But I would love it because you guys know how much I love Nick Chubb. I have his freaking jersey on my wall. He's my favorite Browns player. And he's not a Brown. That's a no to Nick Chubb. For me, I love the guy, but there's nothing left there. There is something left, Jeff. He averaged 4 yards. What are you talking? He averaged 4 yards a carry. What do you mean there's nothing left? He just didn't get the opportunities last year. They felt like they wanted to go younger, which I'm not mad at Houston at all. But when you average 4 yards a carry, there's still something there. Now, if Nick Chubb averaged 2 yards a carry, then I'd say, yeah, he's toast. But once again, the reason why I don't think the Browns will get him is because they're going younger now in the running back position. They let Jerome Ford go. So that lets me know they're not looking. They're looking to go younger at running back. The Browns are a young team in general. So I don't think they're going to go get, I think Nick Chubb is like 30 now, a 30-year-old running back who has had 2 knee injury issues. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of teams are going to look at Nick Chubb. If we're being honest, if I take my bias hat off for Nick Chubb, I love him, but I just don't think teams are looking for a 30-year-old running back with knee issues. But knee injuries, he had a foot injury, knee injury in Collins, knee injury in college, knee injury with the Browns, foot injury with the Browns. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I still think running against backups, which he would do, 4 yards carry in Houston, he has a little bit left in the tank, and he'd want to prove people wrong. But Browns are going young, and that's why I said that Jeremiah Love, that scenario, kind of entices me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. The more I think about it, if there is no receiver there, I still think you can get a top shelf lineman at pick 24. If Carnell Tate is not there, I'm just saying. But it's not going to happen. I think we could get Chubb back for $1 or $2 million a year. I don't think we need a veteran running back right now. That would be a win now move, and we're still kind of rebuilding. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I'm not out. That's why I'm out on Chubb. Honestly, I see the Lions bringing Chubb as the backup. McCaffrey didn't even average 4 yards a carry last year. He didn't? Wow. That's an interesting take on Nick Chubb, Jeff, for the Lions. That is very interesting. The Lions are going to need somebody to spell Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is very good. Not very good. He's awesome. But he can't carry the ball every down. He's going to need a breather. That's interesting, Jeff. Detroit and Nick Chubb. I kind of like it, actually. I like it a lot. The Lions look like they're rebuilding. I can't believe what they have done. 3.86 a carry for McCaffrey. Wow. And everybody talks about McCaffrey as the best, one of the best running backs in the NFL, or the best in the NFL. So I wouldn't have thought that he wouldn't have averaged 4 yards a carry if you would have asked me. Thank you for the stats, Robert. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. If you came in late or just a little rundown really fast before I head out of here, we talked about how free agency is going for Cleveland. I said I like how free agency is going for Cleveland. I just would have liked them to address the receiver issue that Cleveland has. I don't think, to me, just my opinion, I don't just think depending on the draft is going to fix all the problems in the receiver room. I would have liked them to at least get one in free agency and attack it in the draft, but that's just me. Doesn't mean I'm right. A lot of the times I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about it. But other than that, I like what they're doing. They're filling the needs that they obviously have in the offensive line. I love the Quincy Williams pickup from the Jets. I think he is going to be a stud with Carson Schwarzenegger. We talked about, is it Shedeur Sanders' job to lose at the quarterback position? I think it is right now. We'll see what they do in the draft. Everybody talked about they're going to get Malik Willis. They're going to go after Kyler Murray. Maybe they'll go get Anthony Richardson. They can trade a late round pick for him. Now the latest rumor is J.J. McCarthy. The Browns and some other teams are looking into J.J. McCarthy. I just call this the anybody but Shedeur syndrome that the media has in some Browns fans. Geno Smith was up there too before he went back to the Raiders. Pick a quarterback. The Browns are going after him at this point. Ad nauseum, it's annoying at this point. I do think it's his job to lose right now. He has to be beat out by Deshaun Watson or Dylan Gabriel, but we'll see if they pick somebody in the draft. We talked about which free agent excites you to most. Mine is Quincy Williams at this point. I want to see what he does with Carson Schwarzenegger, but I am happy with who they have picked in the free agency so far, or who they have re-signed as well. We talked about who are they picking at 6. Jeff brought up a trade down scenario. We've talked about it's going to be a lineman or receiver. If I had to pick right now, I'm going to pick with my heart and not my head. I'm going to say Carnell Tate at 6, just because I love him. And I just want a reason to have a Buckeye on my team so I can buy a Carnell Tate jersey as soon as they're made. We talked about, will the Browns draft a quarterback? Drew Allar is floating around there. He's floating around in the motion of rumors now that maybe the Browns take a late round pick on Drew Allar. Ty Simpson's out there. Monken loves Ty Simpson. So that's the rundown of what we talked about if you're coming in late. All right, Cody. Nephew wrestling in regionals today. Wish him luck. This would be his 3rd year wrestling in states. All right. Maybe they're willing to see which receiver they'll get and match him with the right veteran. Yes, I think Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson this year, unfortunately. Marvin Harrison Jr., we got to talk about that a little bit because we offered our 2nd round pick for him. The Cardinals turned that down. What does it mean? They can't come back and take the deal. Listen, I said this before, Jeff. You may have not been in the stream. I don't think, since they got rid of Kyler Murray, I don't think they're trading Marvin Harrison Jr. To me, a 2nd round pick for Marvin Harrison Jr. is a steal. And the Cardinals know it. I would have turned it down too. Everybody looks at his stats and they go, oh, he's a bust. He's not good. He sucks. If they were to give up a 2nd round pick for Marvin Harrison Jr., that's like getting 2 1st round pick receivers on your team. If they would have drafted a receiver with a 1st round pick and then traded a 2nd round pick to get Marvin Harrison Jr., it would have been a steal. I don't think they're going to trade him now that they got rid of Kyler Murray. They're going to want to see what he can do with a different quarterback for a full season or multiple seasons but I would have loved it if they would have took a second round pick for Marvin Harrison Jr. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because Marvin Harrison Jr. is better than any receiver in the draft. He's better than any receiver in the draft right now. Hands down. He's better than any receiver in the draft. I stay quiet because I want everybody to know that's how good he is. Steelers getting Ty Simpson. He was talking in an interview about joining the Browns with Cornell Tate, and I found that interesting. Yeah, listen, I'll tell you this, man. I just don't believe it's worth wasting another pick on a quarterback. And I'll leave it at that. I'll be nice today. But I just don't think it's worth wasting another pick. You have too many things to address besides quarterback. And somebody brought this up before we head out of here. What Jimmy Haslam really wants, what he really wants, is Arch Manning. That's his end goal. If things don't work out this year, he's not going to cry about it. He's not going to cry because he's still going to be the owner. He ain't getting fired. He won't cry. Because at the end of the day, his dream scenario, if he had it his way, if you put him to a lie detector test, is to get Arch Manning by any means necessary. So if the Browns aren't good this year, he could care less because he wants Arch Manning. So I don't think they waste a pick on a quarterback this year for that reason, to see if Shedeur is that dude or if he isn't, in my humble opinion. They finally realized QB was the problem. What about our late first round for Marvin? I'd do that. I would do that, but the Browns don't want to. I would do that for Marvin Harrison Jr. I would, but the Browns aren't going to. Ty Simpson, I think he's a good quarterback. I know the second half of his season wasn't good, but the kid was getting beat up. Kind of like the Browns quarterbacks getting beat up. We're going to lose 2027 and 2028 first-round picks to get Arch. We're going to use. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's going to be interesting, but things will be clear come April 23rd of what the Browns are actually going to do with the quarterback position. I don't think they're definitely going to use pick 6 on that. I could be wrong. I could be terribly wrong. But this is the only time I feel like I'm going to be right, is in not using pick 6 on a quarterback. Because after Fernando Mendoza, there's really nothing out there that tickles your fancy at the quarterback position in this draft, in my humble opinion. But it's opinion-based. Some people may think there is. Some people may think there isn't. But at the end of the day, there is one thing to make you happy as a Browns fan. We could have an offensive line this year, and now it's going to be on whoever the quarterback is. Because, hey, we've given you a line, sir. We've given you a line. Now it's your time to shine. That was a bar. Ladies and gentlemen, write it down. 12:53 p.m. That was a bar I just gave you, okay? There's not a lot of people doing that off the top of their head. Shedeur Sanders, some of that was his fault. He was holding onto the ball a little too long. I saw him hold onto the ball when he was supposed to throw a screen. Sometimes he hold onto the ball. You know who else holds onto the ball? Josh Allen. I watched Josh Allen literally against the Houston Texans run 65 yards backwards. Mobile quarterbacks do it. That's just what Shedeur's going to do. He's going to hold on to the football because he thinks he can make a play. Josh Allen's going to hold on to the football. He thinks he can make a play. Lamar Jackson, he thinks he can make a play. That's the gift and the curse of a mobile quarterback, or a quarterback that can extend plays. They're going to hold on it a little bit longer to try and make a play. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, he does it too. I just seen the play on Kyler Murray on a 2-point conversion, which he converted, by the way. He ran around for at least 15 to 20 seconds, and he got the 2-point conversion. They just believe they can make a play, and sometimes they do, and then sometimes they don't, and it makes them look bad. Deshaun Watson, you all remember this. I forget who it was against. He threw it backwards. Backwards. Trying to make a play. It's a gift and a curse of having a little bit of mobility because you think you can get out of stuff instead of making the read or throwing it away. Now, he needs to get a little better, yes. But still, you don't want to take that away from him either, because when he does make that play, a la maybe his best throw against the Raiders, you go, ooh. What up, Big Dollar C? I don't know how I just missed you. You was big enough, Tweet Pat. What up, Big Dollar? How'd I miss my own brother? I am terrible. You go, ooh, okay. There it is. So you just have to, it's a happy, it's a give, right? You still want him to make plays, but you want him to know if the read's there, just take it. And he has to work on that. He's a rookie who didn't get first reps until the middle of the year. First team reps to the middle of the year. Now, if you're a veteran like Josh Allen, it's just that's just who you are, and we have to live with it. Josh Allen held the ball longest in the NFL last year. Plea Brown signed A-Rod. Steelers ride with Howard. AAA, if that happens, our running backs only get 300 yards for the season. Could you imagine Tate and Harrison on the ends with Judy in the slot? That would be... You know what, though? That might be the worst thing that can happen for Shedeur Sanders. Bro, we got you Harrison and Tate. No excuses. And I would be saying the same thing, too. You have the best receiving core the Browns have ever had in the history of sports. Go get it done. Oh, we can dream. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out of here. I appreciate every single one of you. Tweak Pat with the $200 grenade. I'm going to have to get my Streamlabs working for the next stream. But I had to go live because I said I was going to do it. And here we are. My camera worked for an hour. I am so happy. I've been having camera issues too. Been having issues, period. But it is what it is. We are here. It is March 15th. We still have more than a month to the draft. Lord help me. Help me, please. But at the end of it all, I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, sign up to the Patreon. Sign up to my Twitch gaming channel. Harry has been there almost every stream. I appreciate you, Harry. Until next time, it's pinned to the chat if you want to join and follow me as I stream my gaming. I would appreciate that. But until next time, you guys know the drill. It's all love. Peace.